This is Brian Rogers for the BBK Performance R&D and Technical Support Departments to show you how to quickly and properly extend a wiring harness. Keep in mind that soldering is always the best way to perform any wiring connection job, and that it is never a good idea to use crimp or butt type connectors for extending a wiring harness, which are known for failure. To complete a typical wiring harness extension, you'll need the following tools: soldering iron or torch, thin gauge solder, wire strippers, heat shrink tubing, and scissors. To get started, heat up your soldering tool and cut the heat shrink into 1-inch sections. You'll need one section per soldering joint that you'll be making. Start at least 2 inches away from the nearest connection on your wiring harness and cut one wire. Strip about 1/4 inch from the end of the wire that you've cut and the end of the extension wire that you'll be adding in. Slide a section of the heat shrink over the end of the wire that you're working on, and keep in mind that you'll want to have the heat shrink as far away from the area where you are soldering as possible to avoid shrinking it too soon. Now butt the two stripped wire ends together. It's best to make them mesh with each other. This will help hold them in place while you're soldering. Now touch the tip of the hot soldering tool to the joined wires and feed in a little bit of solder until it melts and flows over the wires, until solder has flowed smoothly throughout the entire connection. Pull away the tool and allow the solder to cool, which only takes a few seconds. To check your connections, pull gently on both sides of the solder joint to make sure that it doesn't come apart. With the solder cooled, slide a section of the heat shrink up and over the solder joint and use the heat from your soldering tool to warm the tubing until it closes down on the connection. Now move on to the next wire by cutting it away from your last soldering joint. Staggering the connections in this harness keeps them from being bulky when placed in a wire loom, and most importantly, if the heat shrink ever wears through, the connections won't be touching each other. Now all that's left is to repeat the steps we just went through for each wire that you need to solder.
For more information on this or any of the hundreds of parts that BBK makes for late model cars and trucks, check out bbkperformance.com, where you can search for parts directly for your vehicle or search by product category. At bbkperformance.com, you can also watch fun and informative product detail and installation videos or download instruction sheets. If you're looking for a local distributor in your area, you can find that on our website too with our dealer locator. bbkperformance.com even has a library of magazine articles from years of independent testing for you to review. And while you're there, don't forget to check out the BBK homepage and blog to see what's new. Thanks for watching.